LeBron Raymond James Sr./LBRN/ born December 30, 1984 is an American professional basketball player for the Cleveland Cavaliers of the National Basketball Association (NBA). Often considered the best player in the world and regarded by many as the greatest of all time, James played high school basketball for St. Vincent St. Mary High School in his hometown of Akron, Ohio, where he was heavily touted in the national media as a future NBA superstar. James joined the Cavaliers in 2003 as the first overall draft pick. He quickly emerged as a league star and entertained crowds with his prolific scoring. His passing ability, elite finishing, and athleticism also gained him plaudits from players and fans, while he also gained a reputation for being one of the best defensive players in the league. At age 20, James concluded his first season by winning the NBA Rookie of the Year award, becoming the first Cavalier to win the award, and the youngest player to accomplish this. He followed that achievement by leading the Cavaliers to the 2007 NBA Finals, the first in franchise history, while also winning 2 back-to-back NBA Most Valuable Player awards in the final 2 years of his first stint in Cleveland. However, team success was limited as a Cavalier, and he departed in 2010 as a free agent to sign for the Miami Heat, which was announced in an ESPN special titled The Decision. This remains one of the most controversial free agent decisions in all of American sports. In Miami, James would capture his first NBA championship in 2012, and followed that achievement with another title a year later. However, in 2014, James would opt out of his contract after 4 seasons to re-sign with the Cavaliers. In 2016, James would lead the Cavaliers to their first NBA championship by defeating the Golden State Warriors to end Cleveland's 52-year professional sports title drought. James' individual accolades and accomplishments are extensive, and include 4 NBA Most Valuable Player awards, 3 NBA Finals MVP awards, 2 Olympic gold medals, 3 All-Star Game MVP awards, and a NBA scoring title. He has also amassed 14 NBA All-Star Game appearances, 12 All-NBA First Team designations, and 5 All-Defensive First Team honors. He also holds the record for being the all-time NBA playoff scoring leader. Early life. James was born on December 30, 1984 in Akron, Ohio to a 16-year-old mother, Gloria Marie James. His father, Anthony McClelland, was reportedly Gloria's casual boyfriend with an extensive criminal record. Gloria raised the child on her own. 22 When James was growing up, life was often a struggle for the family, as they moved from apartment to apartment in the seedier neighborhoods of Akron while Gloria struggled to find steady work. Realizing that her son would be better off in a more stable family environment, Gloria allowed him to move in with the family of Frank Walker, a local youth football coach, who introduced James to basketball when he was 9 years old. 23. As a youth, James played amateur athletic union AAU basketball for the Northeast Ohio Shooting Stars. The team enjoyed success on a local and national level, led by James and his friends Sean Cotton, Drew Jors III, and Willie McGee. 24 The players were inseparable and dubbed themselves the Fab Four, promising each other that they would attend high school together. 27 In a move that stirred local controversy, they chose to attend St. Vincent St. Mary High School, a predominantly white private Catholic school. High school career. Basketball. As a freshman, James averaged 21 points and 6 rebounds per game for the St. Vincent St. Mary varsity basketball team. The Fighting Irish finished the year 27-0, winning the Division III state title. As a sophomore, James averaged 25.2 points and 7.2 rebounds with 5.8 assists and 3.8 steals per game. For some home games during the season, St. Vincent St. Mary played at the University of Akron's 5,492-seat Rhodes Arena to satisfy ticket demand from alumni, fans, and college and NBA scouts who wanted to see James play. 51 The Fighting Irish finished the season 26-1 and repeated as state champions. For his outstanding play, James was named Ohio Minster basketball and selected to the USA Today All-USA First Team, becoming the first sophomore to do either. Prior to the start of his junior year, James appeared in Slam magazine and writer Ryan Jones lauded him as possibly the best high school basketball player in America right now. During the season, he appeared on the cover of Sports Illustrated, becoming the first high school basketball underclassman to do so. 104 With averages of 29 points, 8.3 rebounds, 5.7 assists, and 3.3 steals per game, he was again named Ohio Minster basketball and selected to the USA Today All-USA First Team, and became the first junior to be named Boys Basketball Gatorade National Player of the Year. 117 St. Vincent St. Mary finished the year with a 23-4 record, ending their season with a loss in the Division II championship game. 114 Following the loss, James unsuccessfully petitioned for a change to the NBA's draft eligibility rules, which required prospective players to have at least a high school diploma, in an attempt to enter the 2002 NBA draft. During this time, he used marijuana, which he said was to help cope with the stress that resulted from the constant media attention he was receiving. Throughout his senior year, James and the Fighting Irish traveled around the country to play a number of nationally ranked teams, including a game against Oak Hill Academy that was nationally televised on ESPN 2.142 Time Warner Cable. Looking to capitalize on James's popularity, offered St. Vincent St. Mary's games to subscribers on a pay-per-view basis throughout the season. 143 For the year, James averaged 31.6 points, 9.6 rebounds, 4.6 assists, and 3.4 steals per game, was named Ohio Minster Basketball and selected to the USA Today All-USA First Team for an unprecedented third consecutive year, 178, and was named Gatorade National Player of the Year for the second consecutive year. He participated in 3 year-end high school basketball All-Star Games, the EA Sports Round Ball Classic, the Jordan Capital Classic, and the McDonald's All-American Game, losing his National Collegiate Athletic Association NCAA eligibility and making it official that he would enter the 2003 NBA Draft. Many basketball analysts, scouts, and writers have remarked that James left high school as one of the best and most hyped prospects of all time. 142. Also during his senior year, James was the centerpiece of several controversies. For his 18th birthday, he skirted state amateur bylaws by accepting a Hummer H2 from his mother, who had secured a loan for the vehicle by utilizing LeBron's future earning power as an NBA superstar. This prompted an investigation by the Ohio High School Athletic Association (OSA) because its guidelines stated that no amateur may accept any gift valued over $100 as a reward for athletic performance. James was cleared of any wrongdoing because he had accepted the gift from a family member and not from an agent or any outside source. Later in the season, James accepted 2 throwback jerseys worth $845 from an Urban clothing store in exchange for posing for pictures, officially violating OSA rules and resulting in him being stripped of his high school sports eligibility. James appealed the ruling and his penalty was eventually dropped to a 2-game suspension, allowing him to play the remainder of the year. The Irish were also forced to forfeit one of their wins, their only official loss that season. In his first game back after the suspension, James scored a career-high 52 points. Football. As an underclassman, James played wide receiver for St. Vincent St. Mary's football team and was recruited by some Division I programs, including Notre Dame. 51 In his sophomore year, he was named first-team All-State, and as a junior, he helped lead the Fighting Irish to the state semifinals. After James broke his wrist during an AAU basketball game, he decided not to play football in his senior year. Some sports analysts, football critics, high school coaches, and former and current players have speculated that he could have played in the National Football League. 91. Professional career. Cleveland Cavaliers 2003 to 2010. Rookie season 2003 to 2004. James was selected by his home team, the Cleveland Cavaliers, as the first overall pick of the 2003 NBA Draft. In his first regular season game, he scored 25 points against the Sacramento Kings, setting an NBA record for most points scored by a prep-to-pro player in his debut performance. At the conclusion of the season, he was named the NBA Rookie of the Year, finishing with averages of 20.9 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 5.9 assists per game. He became the first Cavalier to receive the honor and just the third player in NBA history to average at least 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists per game as a rookie. The Cavaliers finished the season 35-47, failing to make the playoffs despite an 18-game improvement over the previous year. Rise to superstardom 2004 to 2008. James earned his first NBA All-Star Game selection in 2004-05, contributing 13 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists in a winning effort for the Eastern Conference. Around the league, teams took note of his rapid development, with Denver Nuggets coach George Karl telling Sports Illustrated, "It's weird talking about a 20-year-old kid being a great player, but he is a great player, he's the exception to almost every rule." On March 20, James scored 56 points against the Toronto Raptors, setting Cleveland's new single-game points record. With final averages of 27.2 points, 7.4 rebounds, 7.2 assists, and 2.2 steals per game, he was named to his first All-NBA team. Despite a 30-20 record to start the year, the Cavaliers again failed to make the playoffs, finishing the season 42-40. At the 2006 All-Star Game, James led the East to victory with 29 points and was named the NBA All-Star Game Most Valuable Player. Behind final season averages of 31.4 points, 7 rebounds, and 6.6 assists per game, he also finished second in overall NBA Most Valuable Player award voting to Steve Nash. Under James's leadership, the Cavaliers qualified for the playoffs for the first time since 1998. In his postseason debut, James recorded a triple-double in a winning effort versus the Washington Wizards. In Game 3 of the series, he made the first game-winning shot of his career, making another in Game 5. Cleveland would go on to defeat the Wizards before being ousted by the Detroit Pistons in the second round. In 2006-07, James's averages declined to 27.3 points, 6.7 rebounds, 6 assists, and 1.6 steals per game. Some analysts attributed the fall to a regression in his passing skills and shot selection, which stemmed from a lack of effort and focus. The Cavaliers finished the season with 50 wins for the second consecutive year and entered the playoffs as the East's second seed. In Game 5 of the NBA Conference Finals, James notched 48 points with 9 rebounds and 7 assists, scoring 29 of Cleveland's last 30 points, including the game-winning layup with 2 seconds left, against the Pistons. After the game, play-by-play announcer Marv Albert called the performance one of the greatest moments in postseason history, and color commentator Steve Kerr described it as Jordan-esque. In 2012, ESPN ranked the performance the 4th greatest in modern NBA playoff history. The Cavaliers went on to win Game 6 and claim their first-ever Eastern Conference championship, earning them a matchup with the San Antonio Spurs in the NBA Finals. During the championship round, James struggled, averaging 22 points, 7.0 rebounds, and 6.8 assists per game on just 35.6% shooting, and Cleveland was eliminated in a sweep. In February of the 2007-08 season, James was named All-Star Game MVP for the second time behind a 27-point, 8-rebound, and 9-assist performance. On March 21, he moved past Brad Daugherty as the Cavaliers' all-time leading scorer in a game against the Raptors, doing so in over 100 less games than Daugherty. His 30 points per game were also the highest in the league, representing his first scoring title. Despite his individual accomplishments, Cleveland's record fell from the year before to 45-37. Seeded 4th in the East entering the playoffs, the Cavaliers defeated the Wizards in the first round for the 3rd consecutive season before being eliminated in 7 games by the eventual champion Boston Celtics in the next round. During the decisive 7th game in Boston, James scored 45 points and Paul Pierce scored 41 in a game the Associated Press described as a shootout. First MVP tenure/championship expectations 2008-2010. At the conclusion of the 2008-09 season, James finished second in NBA Defensive Player of the Year voting and made his first NBA All-Defensive Team, posting 23 chase-down blocks and a career-high 93 total blocks. He also became only the 4th post-merger player to lead his team in points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks in a single season. Behind his play and the acquisition of All-Star guard Mo Williams, Cleveland won a franchise record 66-16 and fell just 1 game short of matching the best home record in league history. With final averages of 28.4 points, 7.6 rebounds, 7.2 assists, 1.7 steals, and 1.2 blocks per game, James became the first Cavalier to win the MVP award. Reflecting on James's performance for ESPN, John Hollinger later wrote, "He's having what is arguably the greatest individual season in history, and it's time we gave him his due for it." In the playoffs, Cleveland swept the Pistons and the Atlanta Hawks to earn a matchup with the Orlando Magic in the conference finals. In Game 1 of the series, James scored 49 points on 66% shooting in a losing effort for the Cavaliers. In Game 2, he hit a game winner to tie the series at 1-1. Cleveland would lose the series in 6 games, and following the loss in Game 6, James immediately left the floor without shaking hands with his opponents, which was an act that many media members viewed as unsportsmanlike. For the series, he averaged 38.5 points, 8.3 rebounds, and 8 assists per game, finishing the postseason with a career playoff high 35.3 points per game. In February of the 2009-10 season, James was forced into a temporary point guard role following a series of injuries to players in the Cavaliers' backcourt. Behind his leadership, Cleveland lost no momentum, finishing the year with the best record in the league for the 2nd consecutive season. Due in part to his increased minutes as the Cavaliers' primary ball handler, James increased his statistical production, averaging 29.7 points, 7.3 rebounds, 8.6 assists, 1.6 steals, and 1 block per game on 50% shooting en route to another MVP award. To open the playoffs, Cleveland advanced past the Bulls to earn a matchup with the Celtics in the second round. James was heavily criticized for not playing well in Game 5 of the series, shooting only 20% on 14 shots and scoring 15 points. The team suffered its worst loss in franchise history, and at the conclusion of the game, James walked off the court to a smattering of boos from Cleveland's home crowd. The Cavaliers were officially eliminated from the postseason in Game 6, with James posting 27 points, 19 rebounds, 10 assists, and 9 turnovers in the losing effort. 2010 Free Agency. Main article. The Decision TV special. James became an unrestricted free agent at 1201 AM EDT on July 1, 2010. During this time, he was contacted by several teams, including the Bulls, Los Angeles Clippers, Miami Heat, New York Knicks, New Jersey Nets, and Cavaliers. On July 8, he announced on a live ESPN special titled The Decision that he would sign with the Heat. The telecast was broadcast from the Boys Girls Club of Greenwich, Connecticut, and raised $2.5 million for the charity. An additional $3.5 million was raised from advertising revenue, which was donated to other charities. The day before the special, fellow free agents Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade had also announced that they would sign with Miami. Reports later arose that the trio had discussed their upcoming 2010 free agencies among themselves back in 2006. James decided to join with Bosh and Wade in part so that he could shoulder less of the offensive load. He thought that his improved teammates would give him a better chance of winning an NBA championship than had he stayed in Cleveland. Heat president Pat Riley played a major role in selling James on the idea of playing with Bosh and Wade. James would be relieved of the burden of scoring, and he thought he could be the first player since Oscar Robertson to average a triple-double in a season. When James left the Cavaliers, he drew intense criticism from sports analysts, executives, fans, and current and former players. The decision itself was also scrutinized and viewed as unnecessary. Many thought that the prolonged wait for James's choice was unprofessional, as not even the teams courting him were aware of his decision until moments before the show. Upon learning that James would not be returning to Cleveland, Cavaliers owner Dan Gilbert published an open letter to fans in which he aggressively denounced James's actions. Some angry fans of the team recorded videos of themselves burning his jersey. Former NBA players, including Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson, were also critical of James, condemning him for joining with Bosh and Wade in Miami and not trying to win a championship as the guy. James drew further criticism in a September interview with CNN when he claimed that race might have been a factor in the fallout from the decision. As a result of his actions during the 2010 free agency period, he quickly gained a reputation as one of America's most disliked athletes, a radical change from years prior. The phrase "taking my talents to South Beach" became a punchline for critics. Immediately following the decision, James claimed that there was nothing he would change about the handling of his free agency despite all the criticism. During the 2010-11 season, he expressed some regret, admitting, "I probably would do it a little bit different, but I'm happy with my decision." Before the 2011-12 season, he relented, "If the shoe was on the other foot and I was a fan, and I was very passionate about one player, and he decided to leave, I would be upset too about the way he handled it." Miami Heat 2010-2014. Year of media and fan scrutiny. 2010-2011. James officially became a member of the Heat on July 10, 2010. With the move, he became only the third reigning MVP to change teams and the first since Moses Malone in 1982. That evening, the Heat threw a welcome party for their new Big Three at the American Airlines Arena, an event that took on a rock concert atmosphere. During the gathering, James predicted a dynasty for the Heat and alluded to multiple championships. Outside of Miami, the spectacle was not well received, furthering the negative public perception of James. Throughout the 2010-11 season, James and the Heat were treated as villains by the media and opposing fan bases. To begin the year, they struggled to adjust to these new circumstances, going only 9-8 after 17 games. James later admitted that the constant negativity surrounding the team made him play with an angrier demeanor than in years past. On December 2, James faced the Cavaliers in Cleveland for the first time since departing as a free agent. He scored 38 points and led Miami to a win while being booed every time he touched the ball. The Heat eventually turned their season around and finished as the East's second seed, with James averaging 26.7 points, 7.5 rebounds, and 7 assists per game on 51% shooting. In the conference semifinals, James and his teammates found themselves matched up with the Celtics for the second consecutive year. In Game 5, he scored Miami's last 10 points to help seal a series-clinching win. After the final buzzer, He famously knelt on the court in an emotional moment, later telling reporters that it was an extremely personal victory for him and the team. The Heat eventually advanced to the finals, where they were defeated by the Dallas Mavericks in 6 games. James received the brunt of the criticism for the loss, averaging only 3 points in fourth quarters in the series. His finals scoring average of 17.8 points per game signified an 8.9-point drop from the regular season, the largest point drop-off in league history. Back-to-back championships 2011 to 2013. James was humbled by the Heat's loss to the Mavericks, and the experience inspired him to leave behind the villain role that he had been embracing, which helped him regain a sense of joy on the court. He also decided that his post-game needed improvement, so he worked with Hakeem Olajuwon during the off-season. By the start of the lockout-shortened 2011-12 season, James had significantly expanded his skill set, which helped Miami begin the year with a franchise-best 18-6 record. He was eventually named MVP for the third time, finishing with averages of 27.1 points, 7.9 rebounds, 6.2 assists, and 1.9 steals per game on 53% shooting. In the second round of the playoffs, Miami temporarily lost Chris Bosh to an abdominal injury and found themselves trailing the Indiana Pacers 2-1. James responded with a 40-point, 18-rebound, and 9-assist outing in Game 4 to help even the series. Miami eventually defeated the Pacers in 6 games. Facing elimination in Game 6 of the conference finals against the Celtics, James scored 45 points to lead the Heat to victory in what the New York Times called a career-defining performance. Miami won Game 7 to advance to the finals, earning them a matchup with the Oklahoma City Thunder and James's budding rival, Kevin Durant. Late in Game 4 of the series, James hit a three-pointer to give the Heat a lead, helping them win the game despite missing time with leg cramps. In Game 5, he registered a triple-double as Miami defeated Oklahoma City for their second-ever championship and James's first championship. James was unanimously voted the Bill Russell NBA Finals Most Valuable Player with averages of 28.6 points, 10.2 rebounds, and 7.4 assists per game. His full postseason run, in which he averaged 30.3 points, 9.7 rebounds, and 5.6 assists per game, was ranked the second best in modern NBA history by ESPN. In February of the 2012-13 season, James averaged 29.7 points and 7.8 assists per game while setting multiple shooting efficiency records. That same month, the Heat also began a 27-game winning streak, the third longest in NBA history. James's performance was described as a month for the ages by Sports Illustrated. Behind his play, Miami finished the year with a franchise and league-best 66-16 record, and James was named MVP for the fourth time, falling just one vote shy of becoming the first player in NBA history to win the award unanimously. His final season averages were 26.8 points, 8 rebounds, 7.3 assists, and 1.7 steals per game on 56.5% shooting. In Game 1 of the conference finals, James scored a buzzer-beating layup to give Miami a 1-point victory against the Pacers. Throughout the series, his supporting cast struggled significantly, and his added scoring load prompted him to compare his responsibilities to those of his Cleveland days. Despite these struggles, the Heat advanced to the finals for a meeting with the Spurs, signifying a rematch for James from his first finals 6 years earlier. At the beginning of the series, he was criticized for his lack of aggressiveness and poor shot selection as Miami fell behind 2-3. In Game 6, he recorded his second triple-double of the series, including 16 fourth-quarter points, to lead the Heat to a comeback victory. In Game 7, he tied the finals record for most points scored in a Game 7 victory, leading Miami over San Antonio with 37 points. He was named Finals MVP for the second straight season, averaging 25.3 points, 10.9 rebounds, 7 assists, and 2.3 steals per game for the championship round. Final season with Miami 2013-2014. On March 3 of the 2013-14 season, James scored a career-high and franchise record 61 points in a game against the Charlotte Bobcats. Throughout the year, he was one of the few staples for a Heat roster that used 20 different starting lineups due to injuries, finishing with averages of 27.1 points, 6.9 rebounds, and 6.4 assists per game on 56.7% shooting. In the second round of the playoffs, he tied a career postseason high by scoring 49 points in Game 4 against the Brooklyn Nets. In the next round, Miami defeated the Pacers to earn their fourth consecutive finals berth, becoming one of only 4 teams in NBA history to do so. In Game 1 of the finals, James missed most of the fourth quarter because of leg cramps, helping the Spurs take an early series lead. In Game 2, he led the Heat to a series-tying victory with 35 points on a 64% shooting rate. San Antonio eventually eliminated the Heat in 5 games, ending Miami's quest for a three-peat. For the finals, James averaged 28.2 points, 7.8 rebounds, and 2.0 steals per game. 2014 Free Agency. On June 25, 2014, James opted out of his contract with the Heat and officially became an unrestricted free agent on July 1. On July 11, he revealed via a first-person essay in Sports Illustrated that he intended to return to the Cavaliers. In contrast to the decision, his announcement to return to Cleveland was well received. On July 12, he officially signed with the team, who had compiled a league-worst 97-215 record in the 4 seasons following his departure. A month after James's signing, the Cavaliers acquired Kevin Love from the Minnesota Timberwolves, forming a new star trio along with Kyrie Irving. Return to the Cavaliers 2014-present, quest for Cleveland's first NBA title 2014-2016. In January of the 2014-15 season, James missed 2 weeks due to left knee and lower back strains, the longest stretch of missed games in his career. In total, he played a career-low 69 games and his final averages were 25.3 points, 6 rebounds, and 7.4 assists per game. In the second round of the playoffs, he hit a baseline jumper at the buzzer to give Cleveland a 2-2 series tie with the Bulls. In the conference finals, the Cavaliers defeated the Hawks to advance to the finals, making James the first player since the 1960s to play in 5 consecutive finals. For most of the finals against the Golden State Warriors, Irving and Love were sidelined due to injury, giving James more offensive responsibilities. Behind his leadership, the Cavaliers opened the series with a 2-1 lead before being eliminated in 6 games. Despite the loss, he received serious consideration for the Finals MVP award, averaging 35.8 points, 13.3 rebounds, and 8.8 assists per game for the championship round. During the 2015-16 season, James was criticized for his role in several off-court controversies, including the mid-season firing of Cavaliers coach David Blatt. Despite these distractions, Cleveland finished the year with 57 wins and the best record in the East. James's final averages were 25.3 points, 7.4 rebounds, and 6.8 assists per game on 52% shooting. In the playoffs, the Cavaliers advanced comfortably to the finals, losing only 2 games en route to a rematch with the Warriors, who were coming off a record-setting 73-win season. To begin the series, Cleveland fell behind 3-1, including 2 blowout losses. James responded by registering back-to-back 41-point games in Games 5 and 6, leading the Cavaliers to 2 consecutive wins to stave off elimination. In Game 7, he posted a triple-double and made a number of key plays, including a memorable chase-down block on Andre Iguodala in the final 2 minutes, as Cleveland emerged victorious, winning the city's first professional sports title in 52 years and becoming the first team in NBA history to come back from a 3-1 series deficit in the finals. James became just the 3rd player to record a triple-double in an NBA Finals Game 7, and behind series averages of 29.7 points, 11.3 rebounds, 8.9 assists, 2.3 blocks, and 2.6 steals per game. He also became the first player in league history to lead both teams in all 5 statistical categories for a playoff round, culminating in a unanimous Finals MVP selection. Consecutive NBA Finals streak 2017-present. The 2016-17 season was marred by injuries and unexpected losses for the Cavaliers. James later described it as one of the strangest years of his career. Following a January defeat to the New Orleans Pelicans, he publicly criticized Cleveland's front office for constructing a team that he felt was too top-heavy, for which he received counter-criticism. The Cavaliers finished the season as the East's 2nd seed, with James averaging 26.4 points and career highs in rebounds 8.6, assists 8.7, and turnovers 4.1 per game. In Game 3 of the first round of the postseason, he registered 41 points, 13 rebounds, and 12 assists against the Pacers, leading Cleveland to a comeback victory after trailing by 25 points at halftime, representing the largest halftime deficit overcome in NBA playoff history. In Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals against the Celtics, James scored 35 points and surpassed Michael Jordan as the league's all-time postseason scoring leader. The Cavaliers won the game and the series, advancing to their 3rd consecutive finals against the Warriors. Behind averages of 33.6 points, 12 rebounds, and 10 assists per game, James became the first player to average a triple-double in the finals, but Cleveland was defeated in 5 games. After the Cavaliers traded All-Star point guard Kyrie Irving in the offseason, Cleveland started the 2017-18 season with a 3-5 record. The next game, the Cavaliers defeated the Washington Wizards 130-122. James scored 57 points in the game to set the second highest point total of his career, making 23 of 34 field goal tries and all 9 free throws, adding 11 rebounds and 7 assists. James reached at least 10 points for the 800th game in a row, joining Michael Jordan 866 as the only other NBA player with a streak that long. James also became the youngest player to reach 29,000 career points in the NBA. On November 28, 2017, James was ejected for the first time in his career during the third quarter of the Cavaliers' 108-97 win over the Miami Heat. James was in the midst of his 1,082nd career regular season game, and 1,299th overall. On December 16, 2017, he had his 60th career triple-double and a 109-100 win over the Utah Jazz. James had his 5th triple-double of the season and passed Larry Bird for 6th on the career list. On January 23, 2018, in a 114-102 loss to the San Antonio Spurs, James became the 7th player in NBA history to reach 30,000 career points. At 33 years and 24 days, James became the youngest player to score 30,000. Kobe Bryant was 34 years and 104 days when he got there. On February 27, 2018, he scored 31 points and finished a month averaging a triple-double for the first time in his career, as the Cavaliers defeated the Brooklyn Nets 129-123. James also had 12 rebounds and 11 assists for his 12th triple-double of the season and 67th of his career. He reached 8,000 assists during the game to become the first player in NBA history to reach 30,000 points, 8,000 rebounds and 8,000 assists. On March 30, 2018, in a 107-102 win over the Pelicans, James scored in double digits in his 867th straight game, breaking Michael Jordan's long-standing record. During the 2018 NBA playoffs, James was named to the All-NBA First Team for the 12th straight year, marking a new NBA record. With the Cavaliers defeating the Boston Celtics 87-79 in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals, James reached the NBA Finals for the 8th straight year, which no player had done since members of the early Celtics dynasty did so in the 1960s. In Game 1 of the NBA Finals, James scored 51 points to go with 8 assists and 8 rebounds in a 124-114 overtime loss. James became only the 6th player to ever score at least 50 points in an NBA Finals game. This also notched his 8th game of at least 40 points in the 2018 playoffs and tied Jerry West's feat in 1965 for most in a single postseason. National team career. James made his debut for the United States national team at the 2004 Olympics in Athens, Greece. He spent the games mostly on the bench, averaging 14.6 minutes per game with 5.8 points and 2.6 rebounds per game in 8 games. Team USA finished the competition with a bronze medal, becoming the first U.S. basketball team to return home without a gold medal since adding active NBA players to their lineup. James felt his limited playing time was a low light and believed he was not given a fair opportunity to play. His attitude during the Olympics was described as disrespectful and distasteful by columnists Adrian Wojnarowski and Peter Vexi, respectively. At the 2006 FIBA World Championship in Japan, James took on a greater role for Team USA, averaging 13.9 points, 4.8 rebounds, and 4.1 assists per game as co-captain. The team finished the tournament with an 8-1 record, winning another bronze medal. James's behavior was again questioned, this time by teammate Bruce Bowen, who confronted James during tryouts regarding his treatment of staff members. Before naming James to the 2008 Olympic team, Team USA managing director Jerry Colangelo and coach Mike Krzyzewski gave James an ultimatum to improve his attitude, and he heeded their advice. At the FIBA Americas Championship 2007, he averaged 18.1 points, 3.6 rebounds, and 4.7 assists per game, including a 31-point performance against Argentina in the championship game, the most ever by an American in an Olympic qualifier. Team USA went 10-0, winning the gold medal and qualifying for the 2008 Olympics in Beijing, China. James credited the team's attitude and experience for their improvement, saying, "I don't think we understood what it meant to put on a USA uniform and all the people that we were representing in 2004. We definitely know that now." At the Olympics, Team USA went unbeaten, winning their first gold medal since 2000. In the final game, James turned in 14 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists against Spain. James did not play at the 2010 FIBA World Championship but rejoined Team USA for the 2012 Olympics in London, England. He became the leader of the team with Kobe Bryant, who would soon be 34, stepping back. James facilitated the offense from the post and perimeter, called the defensive sets, and provided scoring when needed. During a game against Australia, he recorded the first triple-double in U.S. Olympic basketball history with 11 points, 14 rebounds and 12 assists. Team USA went on to win their second straight gold medal, again defeating Spain in the final game. James contributed 19 points in the win, becoming the all-time leading scorer in U.S. men's basketball history. He also joined Michael Jordan as the only players to win an NBA MVP award, NBA championship, NBA Finals MVP, and Olympic gold medal in the same year. Afterwards, Krzyzewski said James is the best player, he is the best leader, and he is as smart as anybody playing the game right now. Player profile: it's not just that LeBron James is really good in his 15th year. He's the best player. Greg Anthony, NBA TV and TNT analyst. Standing 6 feet 8 inches 2.03 meters and weighing 250 pounds 113.4 kilograms, James has started at small forward and power forward, but he can also play the other 3 positions. His athletic and versatile playing style has drawn comparisons to Hall of Famers Oscar Robertson, Magic Johnson, and Michael Jordan. James's career averages are 27.1 points, 7.3 rebounds, 7.0 assists, and 1.6 steals per game. Many basketball analysts, coaches, fans, and current and former players consider James to be one of the greatest players of all time, often ranking him as the best small forward and in the top 5 overall. Since 2011, he has been ranked the best player in the NBA by ESPN and Sports Illustrated. He has earned all NBA honors every season since his second year, all defensive honors every season from 2009 to 2014, and was named Rookie of the Year in his debut season. With 4 MVP awards, he is part of a select group of players who have won the award 4 times, including Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Jordan, Wilt Chamberlain, and Bill Russell. James and Russell are the only 2 players who have won 4 MVP awards in a 5-year span. James has never won the Defensive Player of the Year award, but he has twice finished second in the voting and lists the award as one of his main goals. James has appeared in the finals 8 times and won 3 championships. Some analysts have criticized him for not having a better finals record, while others have defended him, arguing that James usually performed well, but his team was defeated by superior competition. Offense: James entered the NBA as a 19-year-old rookie and made an immediate offensive impact when he led the Cavaliers in scoring. He holds numerous youngest to distinctions, including being the youngest player to score 28,000 career points. During his first stint in Cleveland, he was primarily used as an on-ball point forward. His shooting tendencies were perimeter-oriented, and he established himself as one of the best slashers and finishers in basketball. He led the NBA in three-point plays in 2006. His combination of speed, quickness, and size often created matchup problems for opposing teams because he was capable of blowing by larger defenders and overpowering smaller ones. These qualities became more apparent in transition, where he developed a reputation for grabbing defensive rebounds and then beating the defense down court for highlight quality baskets. Around this time, James was frequently criticized for not having developed a reliable jump shot or post game. Teams would try to exploit these weaknesses by giving him space in the half-court and forcing him to settle for three-pointers and long two-pointers, a strategy famously utilized by Spurs coach Greg Popovich in the 2007 Finals, where James converted on only 36% of his field goals in 4 games. In Miami, Heat coach Eric Spoelstra changed James's role to a more unconventional one. James began spending more time in the post and shooting fewer three-pointers, attempting a career-low 149 in 2012. He improved his shot selection and accuracy on jump shots, finishing second in the league in catch-and-shoot field goal percentage in 2013. He also learned how to work as an off-ball cutter in the Heat's pass-happy offense. Behind these improvements, James's overall scoring efficiency rose to historically great levels, peaking in 2014 when he registered a 64.9 true shooting percentage. During this period, ESPN's Tom Haberstroh called James's free throw shooting his biggest weakness, describing it as average. Upon returning to the Cavaliers, James began to experience subtle age-related declines in productivity, posting his lowest scoring averages since his rookie season in 2015 and 2016. His shooting also temporarily regressed, and he briefly ranked as the worst high-volume outside shooter from outside the paint in the NBA. Despite these changes, he has remained an elite offensive player who is capable of beating defenses with body control, strength, and varying attacking speeds. James's playmaking ability is generally considered to be one of his premier skills, with some analysts ranking him among the greatest passers in NBA history. He is the only front-court player in league history to register over 7,000 career assists. Using his size, vision, and the attention he garners from opposing defenses to his advantage, James is able to create easy points for his teammates with accurate assists, manufacturing a league-leading 2.6 three-pointers per game by way of his passing alone in 2013. He will often execute passes that would normally be considered unconventional, including passes after leaving his feet and passes through defensive traffic. His uncanny tendency to find the open man played a significant role in the evolution of modern NBA defenses, which forces teams to incorporate some elements of zone into their schemes to better cover the weak side of the court and prevent James from passing to open shooters. Early in James's career, he was criticized by the media for his buck passing play in pressure situations, specifically, for passing instead of shooting in the waning seconds of close games. In a 2011 interview, teammate Chris Bosh stated that he would rather have Dwayne Wade and not James take a last-second shot. Later in James's career, his clutch play was viewed more favorably. For example, in 2015, 538 wrote that he might be the most clutch playoff shooter of his generation. Defense. At the beginning of James's NBA career, he was considered to be a poor defensive player, but he improved steadily through the years. Near the end of his first tenure in Cleveland, he became proficient at the chase down block, which involved coming in from behind the opposition in transition to block their shot. In Miami, he developed into a more versatile defensive player, and the Heat relied on him to guard all 5 positions. James was paired with teammates Shane Battier and Dwayne Wade, and Miami used him in an ultra-aggressive defensive scheme, with James cheating off the ball to help out inside or get into rebounding position. Beginning in 2014, some analysts noted a regression in his defensive impact, stemming from a lack of effort and expected age-related declines. James himself admitted to taking plays off at times, referring to this approach as chill mode. Writing for ESPN in 2016, Nate Duncan observed that while James tended to take off more plays than in his younger days, he was able to raise his level in that year's finals and temporarily recapture his Miami form. Off the court, personal life. James proposed to Savannah Brinson, his high school sweetheart, at a December 31, 2011 party celebrating New Year's Eve and his 27th birthday. She accepted, and the two were married on September 14, 2013 in San Diego, California. Together, they have 3 children: LeBron James Jr. born 2004, Bryce Maximus James born 2007, and Thurry James born 2014. During his stint with the Heat, James resided in Coconut Grove, where he bought a $9 million 3-story mansion overlooking Biscayne Bay. In November 2015, James bought a 9,350-square-foot East Coast-style mansion in Brentwood, Los Angeles for about $21 million. Public image. James is considered by many people, including his fellow NBA players, to be the face of the NBA. His opinions have yielded significant influence on people who make important league decisions. For example, in 2014 he asked Commissioner Adam Silver to increase the duration of the All-Star break, and the request was granted the following season. On February 13, 2015, James was elected the first vice president of the National Basketball Players Association (NBPA). Throughout his career, James has been ranked by Forbes as one of the world's most influential athletes, and in 2017, he was listed by Time as one of the 100 most influential people in the world. During his first stint with the Cavaliers, he was adored by local fans, and Sherwin-Williams displayed a giant Nike-produced banner of James on its world headquarters. Despite their affection for James, Cleveland fans and critics were frequently annoyed when he sported a Yankees hat when he attended Cleveland Indians baseball games versus the New York Yankees. Following his actions during the 2010 free agency period and, more specifically, the decision, he was listed as one of the world's most disliked athletes. By 2013, his image had mostly recovered and he was reported by ESPN as the most popular player in the NBA for the second time in his career. In 2014, he was named the most popular male athlete in America by the Harris Poll. He has led the league in jersey sales 6 times. In March 2008, James became the first black man on 3rd Man overall after Richard Gere and George Clooney to appear on the cover of Vogue, when he posed with Gisele Bündchen. In response, noted ESPN columnist Jemele Hill considered the cover offensive and memorable for the wrong reasons, describing the demeanor of James and his holding Bündchen as a reference to classic imagery of the movie monster King Kong, a dark savage capturing his light-skinned love interest. Media figure and business interests. James is represented by agent Rich Paul of Clutch Sports. His first agent was Aaron Goodwin, whom he left in 2005 for Leon Rose. Rose joined creative artists agency K in 2007, and he worked with fellow K agent Henry Thomas, who represented Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, to bring James to Miami in 2010. James left K for Paul in 2012. James, Paul, Maverick Carter, and Randy Mims, all childhood friends, formed agent and sports marketing company LRMR after James left Goodwin. LRMR handles James's marketing, including the marketing of The Decision, for which it was criticized. Throughout his career, James has taken a unique approach to his NBA contracts, usually opting to sign shorter-term deals in order to maximize his earnings potential and flexibility. For example, in 2006, he and the Cavaliers negotiated a 3-year, $60 million contract extension instead of the 4-year maximum, as it allotted him the option of seeking a new contract worth more money as an unrestricted free agent following the 2010 season. This move ultimately allowed James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh to sign with the Heat together. During his second stint in Cleveland, he began opting out and resigning on new contracts after each season in order to take advantage of higher salaries resulting from the NBA's rising salary cap. In 2016, he signed with the Cavaliers on a 3-year deal, becoming the highest-paid player in the league for the first time in his career. James has signed numerous endorsement contracts. Some of the companies that he has done business with are Audemars Piguet, Coca-Cola, Dunkin' Brands, McDonald's, Nike, State Farm, Beats by Dre and Samsung. Coming out of high school, he was the target of a 3-way bidding war among Nike, Reebok, and Adidas, eventually signing with Nike for approximately $90 million. His signature shoes have performed well for Nike. In 2011, Fenway Sports Group became the sole global marketer of his rights, and as part of the deal, he was granted a minority stake in the English Premier League football club Liverpool FC, who he has claimed his support for. As a result of James's endorsement money and NBA salary, he has been listed as one of the world's highest-paid athletes. In 2013, he surpassed Kobe Bryant as the highest-paid basketball player in the world, with earnings of $56.5 million. In 2014, James realized a profit of more than $30 million as part of Apple's acquisition of Beats Electronics. He had originally struck a deal to get a small stake in the company at its inception in exchange for promoting its headphones. In 2015, he was ranked the 6th highest earning sports person, and 3rd highest in 2016 after Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi. James has stated that he would like to own an NBA team in the future, albeit in a hands-off capacity. James and comedian Jimmy Kimmel co-hosted the 2007 ESPY Awards. In other comedic pursuits, he hosted the 33rd season premiere of Saturday Night Live. He has also tried his hand at acting, appearing in a cameo role on the HBO series Entourage. In 2015, he played himself in the Judd Apatow film Trainwreck, receiving positive reviews for his performance. That same year, James's digital video company, Uninterrupted, raised $15.8 million from Warner Bros. Entertainment and Turner Sports to help expand the company's efforts to bring athlete-created content to fans. It is hosted on Bleacher Report and is used by several other athletes including New England Patriots tight end Rob Gronkowski and Seattle Seahawks cornerback Richard Sherman. James and his business partner Maverick Carter own production company Spring Hill Entertainment, whose first work was the Lionsgate documentary More Than a Game, which was released in 2009 and chronicled James's high school years. Series produced by Spring Hill include the Disney XD sports documentaries Becoming, Starz sitcom Survivor's Remorse, and animated web series The LeBrons. In 2016, CNBC aired an unscripted series hosted by James called Cleveland Hustles, where 4 up-and-coming Northern Ohio entrepreneurs will be financed on the condition of revitalizing a neighborhood in Cleveland. In the 2017 Toronto International Film Festival, a 60-minute Vince Carter documentary entitled The Carter Effect was executive produced by James and Maverick Carter along with rapper Drake and Future the Prince. In February 2018 it was announced that James' production company will produce a new film in the House Party series with James expected to make a cameo. Activism. James is an active supporter of non-profit organizations, including After School All-Stars, Boys Girls Clubs of America, Children's Defense Fund, and On Exxon. He also has his own charity foundation, the LeBron James Family Foundation, which is based in Akron. Since 2005, the foundation has held an annual bike-a-thon to raise money for various causes. In 2015, James announced a partnership with the University of Akron to provide scholarships for as many as 2,300 children beginning in 2021. In 2016, He donated $2.5 million to the Smithsonian National Museum of African American History and Culture to support an exhibit on Muhammad Ali. In 2017, he received the J. Walter Kennedy Citizenship Award from the NBA for his outstanding service and dedication to the community. In November of that same year, the Akron School Board approved the I Promise Elementary School, a public school created in a partnership with the LeBron James Family Foundation to help struggling elementary school students stay in school. James later reflected that it was his most important professional accomplishment of his life. Throughout his career, James has taken stances on controversial issues. On several occasions, he mentioned a feeling of obligation to effect change using his status. Those include the war in Darfur, the Trayvon Martin case, the now former NBA owner Donald Sterling's racist comments in 2014, the Michael Brown verdict, and the death of Eric Garner. Following a racist incident at his Los Angeles home in 2017, James stated, "Being black in America is tough. We got a long way to go for us as a society and for us as African Americans until we feel equal in America." Later on that same year, in the aftermath of the 2017 Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville, Virginia, James questioned President Donald Trump's Make America Great Again slogan by stating, "It's sad what's going on in Charlottesville. Is this the direction our country is heading? Make America great again, huh?" He said that and our youth deserve better. James also called Trump a bum after the president rescinded a White House invitation to Steph Curry. On the other end of the spectrum, on February 16, 2018, Fox News journalist Laura Ingraham told James to shut up and dribble as a response to his political agendas. In June 2008, James donated $20,000 to a committee to elect Democratic presidential nominee Barack Obama. Later that year, James gathered almost 20,000 people at the Quicken Loans Arena for a viewing of Obama's 30-minute American Stories, American Solutions television advertisement. The ad was shown on a large screen above the stage, where Jay-Z later held a free concert. In November 2016, James endorsed Democratic candidate Hillary Clinton in the 2016 presidential election. Awards and honors: NBA, three-time NBA champion 2012, 2013, 2016, three-time NBA Finals MVP 2012, 2013, 2016, four-time NBA Most Valuable Player 2009, 2010, 2012, 2013, 14-time NBA All-Star 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, three-time NBA All-Star Game MVP 2006, 2008, 2018, 11-time All-NBA First Team 2006, 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, two-time All-NBA Second Team 2005, 2007, five-time NBA All-Defensive First Team 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, NBA All-Defensive Second Team 2014, 2004 NBA Rookie of the Year, 2004 NBA All-Rookie First Team, 2008 NBA Scoring Champion, 2017 J. Walter Kennedy Citizenship Award, National Team, two-time Olympic gold medal winner 2008, 2012, 2004 Olympic bronze medal winner, 2006 FIBA World Championship bronze medal winner, 2007 FIBA America's Championship gold medal winner, 2012 USA Basketball Male Athlete of the Year, commemorative banner in Miami's American Airlines Arena for his 2012 gold medal won as a member of the Miami Heat. High School, 2003 National Champion, three-time OZA Champion 2000, 2001, 2003, two-time Gatorade National Player of the Year 2002, 2003, two-time USA Today High School Player of the Year 2002, 2003, three-time Ohio Minster Basketball 2001, 2002, 2003, three-time USA Today All-USA First Team 2001, 2002, 2003, two-time Parade High School Player of the Year 2002, 2003, 2003 Naismith Prep Player of the Year, 2003 McDonald's National Player of the Year, 2003 McDonald's High School All-American, 2003 McDonald's All-American Game 2003, 2003 EA Sports Round Ball Classic MVP, 2003 Jordan Capital Classic MVP. Number 23 retired by St. Vincent St. Mary. St. Vincent St. Mary Hall of Fame Class of 2011, St. Vincent St. Mary Home Basketball Court named the LeBron James Arena. Other, three-time Cleveland Sports Awards Professional Athlete of the Year 2009, 2016, 2017, Two-time AP Athlete of the Year 2013, 2016, two-time Sports Illustrated Sportsperson of the Year 2012, 2016, 2011-12 EFL Cup champion as part owner of Liverpool FC, 2012 Sporting News Athlete of the Year, 2006 Sporting News NBA MVP, 2004 Sporting News Rookie of the Year, Sports Illustrated NBA All-Decade First Team 2000s, 17-time ESPY Award winner in various categories, 13 individually, 4 as part of a team, two-time Hickok Belt winner 2012, 2013, 2017 North AA Camp Image Awards, Jackie Robinson Award. South Main Street in downtown Akron renamed King James Way. 10-story commemorative banner in downtown Cleveland. 6-story commemorative banner in downtown Akron. Honorary lockers at Ohio State's football and basketball facilities.